going to crochet with Potter and Bloom.
So this is a video tutorial to make these amazing mitts. How beautiful are they? I love the colours so much. These are actually mitts that I saw in Anthropologie that are no longer available for sale, and it is the first time that I have seen something in Anthropologie that I've really wanted and that I actually thought that I could make. So I decided to try and make them, and I designed a square especially for these gloves, and then I figured out a way to join them in a way that's very similar to the Anthro gloves, which I'll put a picture of them in here so that you can see how similar they are. The Anthropologie gloves have a thumb, but I actually really like them without a thumb, so I am going to maybe try putting a thumb on there again. I did try the other day and I didn't like it, but I might try again, and I also might add some additional edging to the fingers and the wrists. But apart from that, I thought that I would do a tutorial to show you how to make the squares and to join them together, and yeah, then you can make your own Anthropologie hack fingerless gloves. So I have made another one, but stopped short of the section where the thumb goes in, and so that I can show you some joining. So that's my sample. I am using DK weight hand painted yarn. This is Artisano hand painted alpaca DK. I love it. This is in the colour Sea Serpent. And I'm also using for my border colour, this is, they're both discontinued yarn. I don't know why or how that's happened, but this is Rowan Cash Soft. I can't remember the colour now, but it's really pretty. It's just like a soft beige DK weight yarn. I thought that it went quite well with the square because the square is so colourful. I thought that it needed something very plain to go with it. So this is the square. This is what I'm going to show you for the first part of this tutorial. I'm using a 4.5mm hook. I don't know why I'm using a 4.5mm hook, but I am. So let me show you how to make the square. Let me get all of my tatty bits and bobs out of the way so that I can just make you this square. So we start by making a slip knot, chaining 4, I've got dog hair on me, chaining 4 and joining with a slip stitch, to create a loop. Then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work a 3 treble cluster. And the way that we're going to work that is we're going to put our yarn round our hook and into the loop. We're going to pull some yarn up and through. Oh, I've split my yarn there. Let me get that all on there. And then we're going to do it again. Yarn round hook, into loop, pull up loop, yarn round hook, into loop, pull up loop. So we do that 3 times. And then we go yarn round hook and through all. Sometimes it needs a bit of a wiggle. And you've got a cluster. It's 3 trebles. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to do a 4 treble cluster. So exactly the same as before, but 4 times. Yarn round hook through all the loops and chain 2. Okay, and we continue to do that another 6 times. One, two, three. That end is getting in the way and it's very annoying. 4. Okay, so when you've got 8 clusters, I will meet you at the end. So you've worked your last 4 treble cluster and you chain 2 and you join with a slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 2. So you've got a little loop. They look like little pillows. They are beautiful. And then slip stitch into that first 2 chain space. Okay, which is here. And now we work the second round. This is just a 2 round granny square. And we do chain 3. And in that same 2 chain space, work 1 treble, 2 chain, and 2 trebles. Okay, so that's your first corner. And then work 1 chain, and in the next 2 chain space, work 2 trebles. Okay, and then chain 1, and in the next space 2 trebles, 2 chain, and 2 trebles. Okay, and then repeat that again. Chain 1, 2 trebles in the middle, chain 1 and 2 trebles, two chains and 2 trebles. So I'm in the front office recording this, and I don't know why I decided to do it in here because it is so noisy with the road, and also somebody has decided to get their leaf blower out just as I'm recording, which always happens if I try to record in this office, so I don't really know why I did that. But anyway, here we are. Two trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. Chain 1, 2 trebles in the last space, chain 1 and join with a slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3, and that is that square finished. The trick with this one was making it small, because there needs to be it needs to be small enough to make a 3 round for a glove, because if you went any bigger than this size you would only be able to do a 2 round glove, which would be a square on the front and a square on the back, and I didn't want that. And the Anthro gloves that I'm inspired by they don't look like that. So this is the square that I came up with. I really love the square just on its own. I really love the square with the lacy edging just on its own as well. So I will go and get my glove and film the next segment to show you how to join these together to make your glove. So essentially you want to make you need to make 9 squares, and then you need to join them in the way that I'm about to show you. You need to join 6 together like that, 3 long, 2 wide, and then put your first one in to join them in the round. I'm going to show you how to do all of that, but I'm going to start on this square here because this is the square where we leave a gap for the thumb. The thumb is going to be in this gap here. We're not going to sew those 2 bits together. If that makes any sense, let me show you on my completed glove. So can you see that that bit there is not joined? So from the middle to the end. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to join. First of all, I'm going to show you how the pattern for the outer, for the contrast colour, and we join into any corner and chain 1. Okay, that's in the way, let's just move that out of the way for now. And then we work 1 more double crochet into that corner. Okay, and then we chain 3, and we're going to be working in between the 2 trebles, so into this space here. I don't know if you can really see with this yarn, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in between, and then we're going to chain 4, and we're going to go in between the next 2 trebles with a double crochet, chain 4 into in between the next 2 trebles with a double crochet, and you can see that that is what it looks like, and then chain 3. So we chain 4 along the length, but from the corner to the first we only chain 3, and that is because, I will show you, that is because this is actually part of the corner, this first group that we go into, so it just makes it a little more compact. Okay, so we've come to our first corner, and if we were going to be going around and just making a square, in that first corner we would just do 2 doubles, and then we would carry on around 3 chain, 1 double crochet, 4 chain, 1 double crochet, 4 chain, 1 double crochet, 3 chain and 2. So that is the pattern for the outer, but because we're going to be joining these to our gloves, we're going to work our first double crochet into that corner, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch this square into place on the glove, and the place where it goes is, because we want this to go in this way, so the place where it goes is this corner, and what we do is we go slip stitch through the first of the 2 doubles on the corner that we're joining into, and we're going to slip stitch those 2 together. Oh, my yarn has come out there where I've sewn it in. Okay, and then double crochet the second double crochet for that corner. So that is now effectively joined. My yarn's coming away there, so you can't see that. There we go, it's a bit better. So that is effectively joined now, and what we do from here is we chain 1 and slip stitch through that first gap. Okay, chain 1 and work your double crochet in between the next 2 treble groups. Okay, chain 2 and slip stitch through the next space, and then work your double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch through the next space, and work your double crochet, chain 1, work into the next one, chain 1, and then work your first double into your corner. So let me show you what that looks like, because it sounded probably very confusing, but essentially you are just joining this square over here, and what we're doing is we're working 2 chains so that you still keep that lacy effect. So you work 2 chains and then you slip stitch and then you work your double, then 2 chains, slip stitch, and then your double. In the far corners we only do a 1 chain before slipping and 1 chain after, just because it's the corner and I want to keep it nice and compact in that corner. So we've done that here. We've worked our first double crochet, so we're going to slip stitch through that corner. Oh, if I can get it. It's a bit tricky when you've got lots of different squares all over the place. Okay, so we've slip stitched that into that corner. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to sort of turn our work around, because now we've got to join our square to this square. So we also want to slip stitch into this corner. So we do exactly the same there. And slip stitch into that corner also. We work a double, our second double crochet, and we have worked our corner. So with the corner, you come into the corner with your double crochet and then you join into the first square. You chain 1, you join into the second square, and then you work your second double crochet. Okay, and then chain 1, go into your first space, slip stitch, pull it through, chain 1, and then work your double crochet. Okay, chain 2, slip stitch, work your next double crochet. Oops. And let me show you what that corner looks like before we move along. Okay, so your corner should look like that. And creates a nice little star effect. I think I will write this pattern up in case this is incredibly confusing. I will write this all up and put photos on my blog so that you can see exactly what I'm doing and read through maybe at your own pace, because I know sometimes I don't really make sense, because sometimes I don't even understand what I'm talking about. And with these gloves, where I've had to sort of try to figure it out so that they look quite similar to the Anthropologie ones, because that's the look that I was going for because I like them so much, it's actually been more difficult because I think if it left to my own devices and designing gloves, I probably wouldn't have gone for this lacy look. But I'm really pleased that I have, because it looks awesome. So I'm at another corner, so I work my first double crochet and then I slip stitch into my corner. So just to be clear, the stitch that I'm slipping through in my corner is the stitch that's closest to the square that I'm joining. So there's 2 corner stitches, so I'm slipping through the corner stitch closest to me. Okay, and then I'm chaining 1, and then I'm doing the same because I'm now working on this square. Slip stitch through the corner stitch that is closer to me, and then work my second double crochet, whoops, and chain 1. Hopefully I'm on screen. Slip through the first, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, slip, and double crochet. So on this square, you are going to continue with, when you've worked your middle double crochet, you're going to finish the square off without joining to this square. So you've done your middle DC and you do 1, 2, 3, chain 4, work 1 DC, chain 3, I had a knot because I went wrong, and join with a slip stitch to your beginning chain 1. Okay, oops, join with a slip stitch, so you've left that space for your thumb. And now you're going to join in your final square into this space here. So I will meet you when I get to this point here, just so that you can see how I join those two bits together. So I'm in that corner space, I've worked my first double crochet and I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to slip through that corner. And then I'm going to chain 1 and slip through the corner on the opposite side. Whoops, double crochet, chain 1, got ends everywhere, not doing that on camera am I, chain 1, double crochet, and then just finish off your square in the usual way. 2 chains and a slip stitch and a double. One chain in the corner and then slip stitched through the top, but also slip stitch through your corner on the corresponding square. Well, I've already cut that. And there we have your mitt. Lots of ends need to be sewn in, but that is essentially how you make yourself a pair of Anthropologie style mittens. I hope that was useful.